Millions of people read their horoscope. They check zodiac compatibility. They describe themselves as a Scorpio, a Leo, a Virgo, or a Gemini. And somehow, many of those descriptions feel surprisingly accurate. But have you ever wondered why? Is astrology actually revealing something about you? Or is something else happening inside your mind? Because the psychology behind astrology is far more fascinating than most people realize. Let's start with the biggest question. Why do so many people read a zodiac description and immediately think, that's exactly me? The answer begins with something psychologists call the Barnum effect. It's a simple idea. People tend to accept vague, general descriptions as highly personal. For example, you care deeply about others, but sometimes you need time alone. Or, you appear confident, but occasionally struggle with self-doubt. The truth is, those statements apply to most people. But when we believe something is written specifically for us, our brain starts treating it as personal. And that's one reason astrology can feel incredibly accurate. Not because the description is unique, but because our minds make it feel unique. But accuracy isn't the only reason astrology is popular. There's something deeper. Humans naturally search for meaning. We want explanations. We want patterns. We want reasons why things happen. Why did that relationship fail? Why am I like this? Why do I keep making the same mistakes? Astrology offers answers. Sometimes simple answers. And when life feels uncertain, simple answers can feel comforting, because uncertainty creates anxiety, and certainty creates relief, even if that certainty isn't always real. Here's what most people miss. Astrology isn't just about predicting the future. For many people, it's a tool for self-reflection. When someone reads their horoscope, they often aren't looking for facts. They're looking for insight. They're looking for language that helps them understand themselves. In a strange way, astrology can act like a mirror, not because the stars are necessarily revealing who you are, but because the interpretation forces you to think about who you are. And that's where its psychological power comes from. But astrology also has a darker side. Sometimes people stop using it as a tool and start using it as a rule. They avoid relationships because of zodiac signs. They blame behavior on their birth chart. They stop questioning themselves. Because it's easier to say, that's just how my sign is, than to take responsibility for change. The moment astrology starts limiting your choices, it stops being self-discovery and starts becoming a label. So is astrology real? Psychology can't answer that question, but it can explain why astrology feels so powerful. Because at its core, astrology speaks to something deeply human. Our need for meaning, our desire for certainty, and our endless curiosity about ourselves. Maybe that's why astrology has survived for thousands of years. Not because it predicts everything, but because it gives people something they've always searched for. A way to better understand who they are